Just when fans thought they had seen it all, Switzerland has become the unexpected epicenter of something that could reshape the narrative around BTS in 2025. As scenic landscapes and quiet lakes whisper the secrets of what unfolded, millions of eyes fixate on a single question: what exactly was Jungkook trying to say, without saying anything at all? Days after Jungkook's unexpected public appearance in Zermatt, the whispers turned into wildfire. Online communities dissected every pixel of each photo. The keychain wasn't just a keychain anymore, it became a portal. The iconic Swiss mountain goat mascot, Wooly, dangled from Jungkook's backpack with almost intentional clarity. Not tucked away, not hidden, hanging proudly as though placed with purpose. It was too specific, too perfectly photographed to be dismissed as mere coincidence. The symbolism seemed to suggest something deeper, a nod, perhaps, to the young, to innocence, or even to a journey about to begin. Then came the wave of interpretations. Some believed it was Jungkook's way of reaching out to young fans and families who might have felt lost in the current of adulthood-themed content. Others thought it was more personal, an homage to childhood, a message of vulnerability in a world that expects perfection. Regardless of intent, the image of Jungkook quietly wandering through the pristine streets of Switzerland with that small figure bouncing behind him set something powerful into motion, and then the silence. For days, Taehyung remained quiet. No tweets, no comments, no music snippets. Until he broke it. And he didn't do it loudly. He did it the way only he can, with emotion veiled in grace, in the kind of phrasing that makes your chest tighten before your brain even fully understands the meaning. He always carries things that mean something, Taehyung said in a quiet live stream, eyes avoiding the camera, fingers tracing invisible shapes on the table before him, even if no one else notices. And with that one sentence, fans everywhere knew Jungkook's actions hadn't gone unnoticed. His choices hadn't been random. There was a message, and Taehyung had just confirmed it. But what was the message? Speculation reignited instantly. Could it have something to do with their upcoming reunion plans? Was Jungkook using the language of symbols to communicate news they couldn't say out loud yet? Was the keychain a metaphor for a door opening soon? Maybe even the door back to BTS as a full group? Not long after that, fans began noticing that RM, who was in Switzerland for the prestigious Art Basel exhibition, was suddenly being spotted near the same places Jungkook and Jimin had been seen days earlier. Coincidence? Maybe. But for ARMY, nothing is ever just coincidence when it comes to BTS. The appearance of 3 members in the same country, within days of each other, without official tour dates or schedules. It felt too orchestrated, too deliberate. The conversations deepened. This wasn't just about fan service anymore. This was a breadcrumb trail, one that was being carefully laid out one hint at a time. It started with Jungkook's keychain, grew louder with Taehyung's acknowledgement, and burst into full speculation mode when RM's presence confirmed that something far bigger was in play, and yet, no one made an announcement. Why the silence? Why let fans spiral into theories and decode actions with no official statement? That's what made it genius. Because when silence is louder than words, it creates obsession. Obsession leads to attention. And attention, especially in today's world, is power. BTS, masters of narrative and mystique, have always known how to control not just the music charts, but the emotional atmosphere of their fans. They don't drop news. They drop feelings. A glance, a photo, a live stream becomes a puzzle, a game, a journey. Switzerland became the stage of this latest play. Zermatt wasn't just a beautiful tourist destination anymore. It became a character in a story too big for words. A place where snow met symbolism, where Jungkook walked alone, but left footprints for everyone to follow. And now, fans are asking different questions. Not just, what is Jungkook doing, but what are they preparing us for? Because the timing is suspicious. BTS's military hiatus edges toward conclusion. Whispers of reunions and comeback specials stir quietly. And a travel show, specifically Are You Sure?, which Jungkook and Jimin previously filmed, becomes more than entertainment. It becomes a metaphor for the very question fans are asking themselves. Are you sure BTS is coming back the same? Are you sure it's just a show? Are you sure this isn't the beginning of something massive? There's power in not knowing. In the moments between official posts and staged comebacks, there's a raw intimacy that comes with seeing your idols act human. Jungkook wasn't in a concert hall. He wasn't behind the lights or under the fan chants. He was just a man walking through a small Swiss village with a backpack and a keychain. And yet, in that simplicity, he became a storyteller, communicating things he couldn't yet say. Then, the theories exploded. Some claimed the woolly keychain could symbolize a dedication to a future child, a coded message about fatherhood, or even a collaboration with a Swiss children's foundation. Others noted that BTS often plans clues months in advance, and that this gesture could point to a major philanthropic campaign in the making. Fans started digging into Swiss tourism programs, cross-referencing them with HYBE's latest trademark filings, searching for any hint of a partnership. Was it a UNICEF campaign redux? A global family-oriented BTS travel initiative? Or simply an emotional expression of Jungkook's own inner world? And still, Taehyung's words echo in the background, even if no one else notices. There's poetry in that, in being seen without needing to shout, in being understood by the few, rather than applauded by the many. Now, every fan with a camera and an internet connection has become a detective. They scour the backgrounds of photos. They amplify the clicks of Jungkook's boots on cobbled streets. They analyze the shadows behind Taehyung's eyes when he speaks. And why not? Because BTS has always been about more than music. They are artists who weave their personal evolution into their public appearances. Nothing is ever just for show. And when you realize that, you realize something even bigger. This moment in Switzerland is part of the next chapter. Not just for Jungkook. Not just for Taehyung, but for all of them, because if the silence between albums is where truth lives, then Switzerland was the confession booth. And fans? They weren't just observers. They were participants in the unraveling. AS fans clung to each image, every repost, and the ever-expanding theories surrounding Jungkook's subtle act in Switzerland. The narrative began to morph from mere speculation into something that resembled a secret story unfolding in real time, crafted not through press releases or choreographed performances, but through whispers, shadows, and soul. Switzerland, with its poetic stillness and majestic mountains, is often described as a place where time slows down. But for BTS fans around the world, time did something else entirely. It fragmented. Each second became layered with potential meaning. Each snapshot of Jungkook or Jimin or Namjoon walking near alpine lakes or blending into Zurich's crowds became a frame from a film with no title. Yet, still, questions echoed louder than the Alps. Why were the youngest members of BTS congregating here now and in this way? Why a children's mascot? Why Taehyung's sudden need to speak? The answer may lie not in what was said or done, but in what was felt, because whether intentional or not, what happened in Switzerland this summer has transcended simple fandom content. It has become emotional currency, a rare convergence of presence and absence. Fans don't just miss BTS because they're away, they feel them more deeply because they're no longer constantly present. Absence, ironically, has made them more visible than ever. Taehyung's words weren't a press statement. They were something more sacred, a rare glimpse into a connection not often shown under stage lights. His soft defense of Jungkook, his acknowledgement of that tiny keychain and the weight behind it, was a moment of pure emotional transparency. It told the world, I know what he's carrying, and I see him. That wasn't about fandom. That was about friendship, and for fans who've grown up watching Taehyung and Jungkook evolve from awkward teenagers to fully formed artists, it hit like a thunderclap. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was honest. Suddenly, the mythos of taekook, the internet's favorite ship, wasn't just a romantic fantasy or a compilation of inside jokes. It was real, in the way bonds between brothers or soulmates or lifelong friends are real, and it left fans reeling. You could feel it in the way timelines filled with taekook fan edits, not the polished, over-the-top ones, but the grainy, tear-inducing montages that show them laughing in practice rooms or comforting each other during hard times. Jungkook's quiet strength and Taehyung's poetic loyalty became the focus of a collective emotional outpouring, a kind of global exhale. They're okay, fans told themselves. They're still connected, and underneath that reassurance lingered the hope. Maybe we're being prepared for something, because let's not forget the setting. Switzerland is not just serene, it's symbolically neutral, a place where nations meet, where dialogues begin. Could this have been a prelude to a larger reunion? A symbolic gathering of BTS in a place far from industry noise, preparing for the beginning of a new era. Some fans pointed to HYB's carefully choreographed marketing strategies. They've always layered symbols within aesthetics, from the BTS universe to the storyline behind the notes. So what if this time, instead of albums or fictional characters, the hints are hidden in reality? In where they go, what they wear, who appears in what city, and who chooses to say what at just the right time. And then came a new wrinkle: sightings of filming equipment. Long lenses, camera crews. Nothing massive. Nothing that screamed Hollywood production, but something. Enough to feed the theory that the trio wasn't just visiting Switzerland for leisure. They were working. Quietly. Carefully. Perhaps filming the next chapter of Are You Sure? Or something even more personal. And if that's true, it would mean that we haven't just been witnessing a quiet vacation. We've been watching a production unfold in real time. A story with no press tour, no trailers, no countdowns. Just feelings. Hints. Trust. Jungkook's choice of a child's mascot keychain may have been personal. It may have been poetic. But with Taehyung's reaction and the presence of RM, it becomes something else entirely. A breadcrumb. And the fandom has always known how to follow breadcrumbs. AS fans began to map out each member's movements across Switzerland. Even casual bystanders were drawn into the mystery. Local cafes shared Instagram posts with cryptic captions. "Something magical is happening in the Alps," wrote one bistro in Grindelwald, where Jungkook was rumored to have passed through. Another shared a blurry photo of what could only be RM sitting beneath a lakeside tree sketching, his signature notebook just barely visible. Suddenly, Switzerland was more than a backdrop. It was a character, a co-conspirator, a neutral zone hosting a deeply emotional, deeply strategic reunion. And then came the music or rather, the hint of an anonymous SoundCloud upload bearing no title, no tags, and no vocals, just instrumental. Melancholic. Subtle. The kind of soundscape that feels like it belongs under a slow-motion montage of three men walking apart before finally turning to face each other. Armies, of course, had theories. "It's Jungkook," one wrote. "No, it's Taehyung style." Others said it had RM's fingerprints all over it. But no one could prove anything, and that was the point. In the silence between official releases, in the space between live streams and chart rankings, BTS has quietly reclaimed what fame often strips away: authenticity. And if you listen closely, you'll hear it in every mountain echo from Zermatt. In every quiet chuckle between Taehyung and Jungkook as they gaze out over Lake Geneva. In the rhythm of RM's pen as he sketches verses only he understands. For now, what Jungkook did in Switzerland wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud, but it was unforgettable. And what Taehyung said, it confirmed what fans already suspected, that the members of BTS are still writing their story, not as idols shaped by expectation, but as men who are finding their way back to each other, one keychain, one walk, one word at a time. So, if you're wondering whether this means something, if it's the start of a comeback, a documentary, a new album, or something else entirely, ask yourself this: are you sure? Because whatever it is, it's already begun.